Good afternoon, dear students. Hope you all are fine. Yesterday we did assignment from chapter number 1, Know Your Planet. Today we'll do assignment from chapter number 2, that is Parallels and Meridian. So before starting this assignment, let us recall what are parallels and meridian. Parallels are those imaginary lines that run from east to west. They are also known as lines of latitude. Parallels are those imaginary lines that run from east to west, and they are also called lines of latitude. Meridians. Meridians are those imaginary lines that run from north to south, and they are known as the lines of longitude. So, this was the meaning of parallels and meridians. Let's begin with question number 1. Answer in one word. First is a pattern of regularly spaced horizontal and vertical line. Dear students, if you remember, we studied a diagram that show us the horizontal and vertical lines on a globe. So what do we call that horizontal or vertical lines on a globe? That pattern is known as grid. If you remember, we studied the network of horizontal and vertical lines on a globe is called a grid. So what is the answer here? Grid. Second, imaginary line that run parallel to the equator. He is asking for the imaginary line that run parallel to the equator, and the imaginary lines that run parallel to the equator, they are known as latitudes, because latitudes they run parallel to the equator. Third is semicircles that join the North Pole to the South Pole. Now you have to tell the semicircle. As the name indicates, semicircle means the meridians that join the North Pole to the South Pole, means from north to south, that semicircles is known as meridians. Next is the earth moves on a fixed path. We know that earth moves on a fixed path, and that fixed path is known as orbit. Next, fifth, German cartographer who made the first globe. You have to tell the name of the German cartographer who made the first globe, and his name is Martin Behem. So Martin Behem was the German cartographer who made the first globe. Now let's move to question number 2. Question number 2 is fill in the blanks. First is dash is the imaginary line around which a globe rotates. You have to tell here that the imaginary line around which the globe rotates, that is axis, AXIS. That is the imaginary line around which the globe rotates. Second is the two ends of the axis are called the dash and dash. Two ends of the axis, यानी कि top to bottom, they are called as the North Pole and South Pole. So the two endpoints of the axis are called the North Pole and South Pole. Third is 23.5 degree north is in northern hemisphere. Now here you have to tell the name of that latitude which is in northern hemisphere, and whose degree is 23.5 degree north. So what is the answer here? Tropic of Cancer. Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 degree north, is in the northern hemisphere. Next, fourth, dash 23.5 degree south is in the southern hemisphere. Now, which latitude will come here, which lies in the southern hemisphere and whose degree is 23.5 degrees south? Tropic of Capricorn. So, Tropic of Capricorn, 23.5 degrees south, is in southern hemisphere. Next, fifth, dash 66.5 degree north is in the northern hemisphere. Again we have to move upward, means in the northern hemisphere, and the degree is 66.5 degree north. So which latitude here we are talking about? This is Arctic Circle. Arctic Circle, 66.5 degree north, is in the northern hemisphere. Next, sixth one, dash 66.5 degrees south is in the southern hemisphere. Now we will move downwards, means in the southern hemisphere, 66.5 degrees south. Now what is this? This is Antarctic Circle. Antarctic Circle is in the southern hemisphere. Next, seventh, parallels are running from dash to dash. You know, parallels or latitude, they run from which direction? From east to west. So what you will write here? East to west. Next, eighth, there are dash meridians on the east of the prime meridian. Dear students, if you remember, we have read that in total we have 360 meridians, 180 to the east and 180 to the west. So there are dash meridians on the east of the prime meridian. What will come here? 180. 180 meridians are on the east of prime meridian and 180 on the west of prime meridian. Next, ninth, the Tropic of Cancer is in the dash hemisphere. Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 degree north, it lies in the northern hemisphere. It lies in the northern hemisphere. Next, 10th, the prime meridian passes through dash. You have to write the name of the place from where the prime meridian passes. Prime meridian passes through Greenwich. So this was question number 2. Let's move to question number 3. Now question number 3, tick the correct option. First one is the northern point of the axis is called South Pole, North Pole, Equator or Prime Meridian. The northern point of the axis, that is known as the North Pole, means top of the axis we have to tell, and you know at the top it is the North Pole and the bottom it is the South Pole. So what is the answer here? North Pole. Next, second part, it lies to the north of equator. Now you know equator is the line that divides the earth into two equal parts. One is the northern hemisphere which lies to the north of equator, and other one is the southern hemisphere which lies to the south of the equator. So first option is eastern hemisphere, second is western hemisphere, third is southern hemisphere and fourth is northern hemisphere. So it lies to the north of equator. Equator के north में क्या है? Northern hemisphere. So the answer is northern hemisphere. Third part, a globe is a spherical model of the sun, moon, earth or none of these. You know that globe is a model of earth. So what is the answer? earth. Next is fourth. The needle around which the globe rotates is an. You have to tell the name of that point around which the globe rotates. That is an axis, pole, hemisphere, or none of these. So, the needle around which the globe rotates is an axis. Axis is the answer. Now move to question number 4. Answer the following questions. First is, what is orbit? Now students, you remember what is orbit? It is a fixed path around which the earth revolves. So the earth revolves on a fixed path called orbit. What is orbit? The earth rotates on a fixed path called orbit. Next is, what is prime meridian? Prime meridian means the meridian that passes through Greenwich. Prime meridian means the meridian that passes through Greenwich. So this was the assignment of chapter number 2, dear students. Hope you all will complete this assignment. I'll send you the answer key of this assignment also, and you can play the video again to have a look over the answers also. Till then, goodbye. Take care.